Hey everyone, Carl here with Literate Lessons, bringing you a very special deep dive this week, as it is Worlds, or at least a few hours before. For those that may have been living under a rock, Pokemon Worlds starts this week on Thursday. Super duper excited to see all that start up. I know myself personally, I'm super excited to see Unite and VGC. I know there's people excited to watch the TCG go. The very small handful of players that are there for Pokémon is going to be super duper exciting. So there's a whole lot to go over and look at when you're looking at Worlds. But I thought it would be fun to maybe do a small predictions little video before all the ceremony and pomp and circumstance start, and just hone in on what I think the VGC side's going to do. It's been a little while since we've actually talked VGC at all on the channel, because Series 12 kind of has been in a rut. No one was really hosting any Series 12 events because there's no IRL events. We had Series 13 rules. Everyone was testing for Worlds in secret. You don't want your text to get out before this big event. And so it'll be more kind of like going in blind into a new format, and I'm super excited about that. Before we get into the nitty gritty here, make sure to do all the fun YouTube stuff for us, like, comment, subscribe. Are you going to be at Worlds? I would love to hear your travel stories or your day one, day two stories. Would love to hear about those in the comments down below. So my first big prediction here is, it's kind of a weird one. I've hated on Lunaludon for the better part of Series 12. I think it is terrible. I hate playing with it because you're always playing coin flips and lottery, and it just feels terrible when I play it. But I really think Lunaludon's finally going to get the spotlight and finally win an event, a big event like Worlds here. I think it's just going to line up perfectly. They're going to get all their Precipice Blades, all their Sleep Powders, all their Meteor Beams to hit, and some lucky person's going to take that all the way through. One of the good things about Lunaludon is its just overall power level is very, very high. Your trade-off obviously is consistency, accuracy, and whatnot, but I think in this type of event, you have figured out for the most part how to minimize the variance with that team, and I feel like one lucky player is going to take that all the way to the top. My second big prediction is Calorics Ice is going to be nowhere to be seen, at least in the top tables anyway. We've seen it a little bit start to trend downwards as people have figured it out. If you remember 3 weeks back or so now, I talked about the World Cup meta and how Trick Room is starting to be on the decline, how it's not doing too well because there's things like Lunaludon, there's things like the Rinyasun and the French Rain and all of these Crystal Rain teams running around that just prey on Trick Room, because once you stall out the first Trick Room, you're really going to have to set up for that second one, and if they can't get that set up, they usually just lose the game. And so I think Calorics Ice and in turn Palkia Reshiram are going to see a whole lot less play at the top tables in this very prestigious event. My third prediction is kind of piggybacking off of the Lunaludon prediction. I think Veltal is going to show up really big at Worlds because Lunaludon is going to be so popular. I think Lunala is probably going to be the most played archetype at Worlds just because of its power level going into day one, which it's perfect in blind matchups, and so Yveltal is going to be the Pokemon restricted to beat going into Worlds, I feel like, because if your Lunaludon team can beat Yveltal, you're going to be in a very good position. But Yveltal boasts very good matchups against both your restricteds in the form of being flying for Groudon, being dark type to beat Lunala, and so I think Yveltal is going to have a fantastic Worlds run, even though it's probably going to get mauled by all the rain teams that are running around with Zacian and Regieleki and Thundurus and things like that. My last big prediction is kind of a give me freebie. I think Kyogre is going to come back and overtake Groudon in top 8 usage at Worlds. I think we will see more Kyogres than we will see Groudons. Now, I know back in 5-10 minutes ago, I said Lunaludon is going to be the #1 pick overall for what's going to win the event. I know I said that, but I think there's going to be a lot of consistent teams in day 2 that are going to be the Crystal Rain teams, Kyogre, Zacy, and Swordfish. We've seen it time and time again that those are the teams that put up results fairly easily, and having these very strong players have access to that stuff just could mean that Kyogre gets 7 out of the 8 spots right at Worlds. Now that's a big ask, but that is something that we could easily see. We could also see all Swordfish. That is also a thing, and my #1 prediction could be wrong. Who knows? But I really think Kyogre's finally back in the driver's seat when it comes to the weather wars. Lunaludon can struggle against Kyogre if they're not being accurate, if they're not hitting their moves, and that's the thing that Kyogre gets to do, is you get consistency in the things like Thundurus, Rillaboom, Incineroar, and stuff like that. And that's all I got this week. This is just a super short, simple predictions video. I wanted to get this out before World started so it wouldn't look like I was metagaming and trying to predict stuff that I already had seen happen. But I'm super confident in this stuff because I've seen enough events and how the format has played out so far that I feel like this is in the right direction where we're heading. But it's funny that like the Yveltal guy wants Yveltal to do well and thinks Yveltal's going to do well, and then Yveltal will probably fall flat on its face because the entire format's Trick Room, right? Like I could be completely wrong and everything's Trick Room and Yveltal's garbage. Groudon, Lunaludon doesn't even come close to top 8. It could be a whole wash and I could be completely wrong, but I really feel like this stuff is in the right direction of in the way the world's going to work. What's your world's prediction? Leave a comment down below, all that fun stuff. But yeah, that's all I got for you this week. Make sure to go and check out all of our other YouTube content right now. The Egglocks going on. We got the podcast episode from Monday. We talked about Scarlet and Violet leaks, if that's up your alley. We'll get back into more regular VGC stuff as Series 13 starts to become an official format, but we might be venturing into uncharted territory in the near future for the podcast. Again, do all that fun YouTube stuff for us. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.